The objective today is adding integers, negative and positive. How much is negative 6 plus 7? This could be tricky, right? But today I'm going to show you easy ways of adding negatives and positive integers. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is using a model. I am going to use tiles to represent these numbers. I am going to use red tiles to represent the negatives, and I am going to use blue tiles to represent the positive. Let me write that down. Negatives and the blue ones to represent positives. So, in this question we have negative 6 plus 7. So I am going to draw negative 6 tiles, negative tiles. So 1, remember that these are negative. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I have 7 positive tiles. So I'm going to use another color. So 7 positive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 positive tiles. Okay, so if you remember our objective before about opposites, we need to understand that opposites eliminate each other. So, for example, this one can eliminate that one. We can cancel those two out. And this one can eliminate that one, this one can eliminate that one, this one with that one, this one with that one, and this one with that one. So, how many tiles are left? Well, we can see that we have one blue tile and the blue represents positive. So, the answer will be 1 positive. So, negative 6 plus 7 equals positive 1. Another way of adding integers fluently is using a number line. So we have negative 6 plus 7. That means that we need to start on negative 6. So suppose that you are standing on this number line, so you are standing here on negative 6. And then you see plus 7. If you remember our objective about number line, if you remember these objectives, I am going to link them here in the description. So go and check them out if you need a refresher about those objectives. So you're standing on negative 6 and then you see plus 7. So plus means walking to the right of the number line. Minus or negative represents walking to the left of the number line. In this case, we're moving to the right 7 units because it's positive. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units to the right. So now your final standing is in positive 1. As you can see, we have the same answer. But what if we need to add something like this? Negative 347 plus 1,543. We are not going to be drawing negative 347 tiles and then 1,543 blue tiles, and then we're going to start eliminating in pairs. This will take us forever, right? Or we are not going to be drawing a number line this big and then jumping around this amount of units. That will be a lot of work. So I'm going to show you an easy way or an easy method to add integers, and I call it the battlefield method. As we understand from our previous slide, the positives and the negatives eliminate each other. One positive and one negative will eliminate each other. So, suppose that this is a war and the positives and the negatives hate each other, so they are going to eliminate each other, right? So if you need to do the same problem, negative 6 plus 7. In this battlefield method, we are going to draw a line that I call this the battlefield line after the first integer, immediately after negative 6. Not after the plus, immediately after the negative 6. Then you are going to check the sign or the symbol in front of your number. So for example, this 6 has a negative in front, so these are considered negative numbers. Then you have a plus in front of 7 or an addition sign. So that plus belongs to that 7 because it's in that other side of that battlefield line. So those 7s are considered positive. So negatives and positives, they don't like each other. If they meet, they are going to fight and they will eliminate each other. But in this case, who has more? So think of those tiles. The negatives are 6, the positives are 7. So we have more positives. So that means that the positives are going to win. So your answer, remember that, is going to be positive because we have more positives, okay? So when negatives and positive meet, that means they are going to fight. And in this case, fight means eliminate or cancel each other out. So you are going to subtract. And you are going to subtract just the number. Forget about the sign now. So now you are going to subtract 7 minus 6, the largest number minus the smallest number, and that will be 1. And we already know that our symbol, our sign at the end is going to be positive. We have it here. So your answer is going to be positive 1 or just 1. Let's do more examples with this battlefield method. So now we have 7 plus negative 19. Sometimes you are going to see these parentheses in between integers, and they do that so you don't have these symbols together, and sometimes if they are together with nothing in between, that can be a little bit confusing. So sometimes you will see those parentheses just to make the problem more neat. So, battlefield method. After the first digit, immediately after the first digit, you draw your line. Then you check the sign or the symbol in front of the integer. So 7 does not have a sign or a symbol. But when we don't have a sign or a symbol, that means that it's positive, right? In positive integers, we don't need to write plus 7. So these ones are considered positive 7. Okay, let's go to the other side of the line. Well, here it can be a little bit confusing because we have two symbols, right? Plus and minus. But remember, you are going to focus exactly on the one in front of it. So the one that is in front of 19 is this negative 19, right? You're adding negative 19. So that means that those 19 are negative. Remember, the sign in front of the number. Okay, so again I have positives and negatives. That means that they don't like each other. That means that they are going to fight. So that means that they are going to eliminate each other. And elimination means subtraction. But who has more? The positives are 7 and the negatives are 19. That means that the 19s are going to win because those are more. So the negatives are going to win. So I already know the sign or the symbol that my answer will have because these integers are more. So the negatives are going to win. So my answer is going to be negative. Okay, so positive and negative, they will eliminate. Elimination means subtraction. You are going to subtract the largest minus the smallest number. Forget about the signs now. So we have a 19 and we have a 7. So you subtract the largest minus the smallest. So 9 minus 7, that will be 2, and the 1 drops down. So 12. But remember that is negative. We already have the answer here, negative 12. Okay, let's try this one. Battlefield line immediately after the first integer. So, negative 5, sign in front of the number, negative, right? Again, I have two signs here, but you focus on the one in front of the number. The one in front of the number is negative. I have negative 10. You're adding negative 10. So those are considered negative. In this case, they are not going to fight. Both are negative. That means that they are friends. That means that they like each other. They will not fight. So they are going to join. Suppose that we're talking about armies. We have the positive army, we have the negative army. So here, the negatives are going to join to form a bigger negative army. So joining means adding. So in this case, you are going to add the numbers. You are going to add the numbers. That is 10 plus 5, 15, but they are negative. You are just adding more negatives. So don't forget to include your symbol. You can see here that both are negative, so they're joining to form a bigger negative army. So now we have more negatives, that in this case is negative 15. What if you have a mathematical sentence with more than two operations that you need to perform? Well, there are several options that you can do here. You can start from left to right and start with 12 and 13, and then that answer you can add the negative 8. That's one option. Or remember that we're talking about the negatives and the positives, so one way of doing it is if you draw those lines after each digit. So here we have negative 12. Here we have positive 13. So these are considered positive. And here, remember that we have two symbols, but you focus on the one in front. So we can forget about this one because we are just focusing in the one in front, negative 8. So in this case, we can join or add all the negatives because remember that the negatives are friends. So we are going to add all the negatives. That's one way that we can do it. Remember, negatives and negatives, they go together. You join them. So you have 12 and 8, okay? So this will be 20, but remember that they are negative. So you have negative 20. And then you have those positive 13. So you have this negative now, these much negatives. These ones are positive. Well, the negatives and the positives, they don't like each other. These two will fight or eliminate each other, right? And elimination means subtraction, but check who has more. Well, the negatives are 20 and the positives are only 13. So that means that the negatives are going to win. So your answer is going to be negative. And then you do the elimination or the subtraction of just the numbers. So 20 minus 13, that will be 7. Negative 7. Don't forget about your symbol. Remember that we said at the beginning that the negatives were more, so my final answer should be negative. Negative 7. Sometimes you will see real-life context problems that involve adding and subtracting integers. So let's read. A roller coaster starts at point A. It goes up, important keyword, 20 feet, down 32 feet, and then again up 16 feet to a final point B. What is its final position? So let's try to write a mathematical sentence. So it starts at a certain point A, right? So A can be considered our zero, right? Then from zero it goes up. Up means something positive, right? So you can add 20, then is going down. That means that you are going negative 32. So that means that you're adding negative 32. Down represents negative. And then again, you go up 16. So this is my mathematical sentence. Okay, so I have several operations here. I can do what we did about adding first. These are positive, these are negative, these are positive. So what we can do is add first the positives because they like each other. Remember, positives and positives are friends. That means that they will join, they will form a bigger positive army. So I am going to add 20 plus 16. That is 36 positive. I don't need to write the plus, but I'm just going to write it there for reference. I have 36 positives. And then I'm adding negative 32, right? So if I do battlefield method here, these ones are positive, these ones are negative. So here they will fight. They are going to eliminate each other, right? But we are going to see that we have more positives. We have 36 positives compared to 32 negatives. So that means that our final answer is going to be positive. But the positives and the negatives don't like each other. You need to subtract. You need to subtract these numbers because they are eliminating each other. So 36 minus 32, remember, always write the largest number on the top, and here forget about the sign in front of it. We're just working with the whole numbers. So 6 minus 2, that will be 4, and these two eliminate. So my answer is positive 4 feet, or just 4 feet. Okay, so now is your turn. Use your notebook, take out a piece of paper, pause this video now, use the battlefield method. Try to practice this method. This will simplify all your work a lot if you know how to use this method. Let me know how you did. When you're done, just keep playing this video, and at the end, I'll give you the solution. Thank you. Bye-bye. Don't forget to share and like this video. Subscribe to my channel. Also follow me on my social media, Instagram and Twitter @NumeritosTV, and suggest our new objective.